Yesterday, my Twitter timeline, if you strip out all the advertising and all the, let's say, a lot of developers, they say, I started 2 years ago with $200 and now I make 5 millions a month. I declare all this garbage and I silence everything. I spend my time on X, silencing useless people, useless bots. But except all this scam and bad advertising, my timeline presented a tweet from Arctic Monkeys, stopped the developing of FCP Library Manager, and they sold the product to another company to continue the development. And I said to myself, oh my God, they were my, I would like to say competitors, but they were a lighthouse in the world of library managers for Final Cut Pro. I developed an app, FCP Diet, that does in a very smaller and simpler way the things they do with their huge and monolithic and super powerful app, Library Manager. The goal of both applications is to reduce the size of FCP libraries. And the underlying message is that Apple didn't do this directly, and so we have to step in and produce this kind of apps to gain a little market. And I always say to myself, if I sell one copy of my app, they probably sell 20 or 25. But still, they cannot sustain and bear the development of this app after 10 years. I am a developer as a second job. My first job, as you know, is a TV commercial director and promotional video and corporate communication. Except for 2023, my main revenue comes from the video world, the video production. In 2023, that changed because last year, my main revenue source was software development. I don't think that 2024 will be the same. I'm realistic. I'm pessimistic. I will see dark in my life. So I have a safety net and I produce more than one app. I sell something like a dozen apps and 3 or 4 of them make a significant amount of money. So I have a lot of diversification. They could not afford this. The people who stepped in said that the business model had to change. And I agree. Buy once and use forever is not a feasible way of producing software anymore. For a lot of reasons. Main reason is that the software today is very, very cheap. Things that can be purchased 20 years ago with $100 now should cost something like $5 or $10. So you have to sell 10 times more to produce the same revenue stream. And remember that each purchase has a cost. Each customer has a cost, as a support role. So you have to sell something like 15 times more than 20 years ago to maintain the same balance. And this is not feasible because it's quite impossible that you can increase by an order of magnitude user base. And after all the things that you have to face while developing an app like this, which has to do reverse engineering, and so you have to constantly improve and follow what Apple does. This represents something like 5 to 10% of the global effort of developing an app. The remaining 19 to 95% is marketing. If a software developer is a good software developer, usually is not a good marketing man. And so this thing is hard. It's very, very hard. It's tough. And normal people like me, like them, cannot afford this kind of effort. And they have to give up. And that's a shame. That's bad. It's another signal that things have to change. I don't say that you have to pay 89 euros a month for Magic Bullet looks. Maxon, if you are here, remember, this is a robbery. But software developer and software purchase, as we remembered, is no longer feasible. I produced a video something like 2 or 3 months ago talking about a new kind of business model for software developers. That's also not feasible because you cannot do this kind of stuff. Refer to the video in this link below because I think it's one of the most interesting one that I ever produced. In the end, subscription and pay-as-you-go will be the next decade or the next 3 years landing point for all the software developers. That's the only way we can continue to do this kind of stuff. I'm happy? No. But before changing the business model and using different platforms to sell our apps, we have to change our mindset and accept the fact that we have to pay continuously for the things that we use to work. We continuously pay for Netflix or Spotify, Amazon Prime, and all these kind of things. There's no escape. We have to pay even for indie developers. That's all for today. Thanks for watching me. I'm Alex Arcuglia. This is The Morning Rant, the show in which I talk about my life as a TV commercial director and software developer while I telecommute from my home to the office. Thanks for watching me. If you like this video, please like this video. And if you have something to say, please do this in the comment below. And if you don't, just say a prayer for me. Ciao.